And here we go again. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. We've taken it a little bit low-key approach because, as the British are usually very much understated, so are we here at Online Big Blue. The British version, bringing you the best in New York Giants entertainment. Sports talk entertainment. If you believe that, you probably will buy a bridge in Brooklyn. Oh, we got the Packers, we got the Giants, we got everything going on here in London. Well, I'm not in London. I wish I was in London. Whoops. I moved down the wrong sound bar because I was trying to lower the music on the soundboard. But you know what? I'm not a sound engineer. Want to talk about the Packers, want to talk about the Giants, want to talk about everything going on under the sun. Daniel Jones and, of course, Tyrod Taylor have both made the trip to London. Daniel Jones' injury update is he continues to trend towards playing and being the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants. Brian Daboll said his workload will increase on Thursday and increased on Thursday. On Friday and increased on Thursday. And he seems to be moving well, moving around. It looks like he will be starting. The list of Giants who did not participate in practice on Thursday, we've talked about this before, it was Cordell Flott, Kenny G, Azeez Ojulari, Tyrod Taylor, and Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney made the trip. Not Kadarius Toney, excuse me. Tyrod Taylor made the trip to London. He was wearing the red practice jersey the other day, the red "Do Not Hit Me" jersey, as I like to refer to it as. So, it's interesting because, honestly, if you have a concussion, it's a bad concussion, the worst thing you could do is get on a plane. Literally, the worst thing you can do is get on a plane. I have had, going back to Pop Warner, 11 known concussions. And I'm just fine. And I'm just fine. And I'm just fine. And I'm just fine. Because you can tell that right away. And, of course, I'm just joking. So for him to actually board the plane and go on a 7-hour flight, that bodes well. So, and we still have Davis Webb. Davis Webb is he's a backup. We all know Davis Webb is a backup at best. Our own coaching staff have said periodically that Davis Webb is a gym guy. He is a great locker room guy. He is a great guy to have, to help show the systems. And it's just one of those things that we need, that he's like Popeye. We've said it before. He is what he is. We also got another injury report on Kadarius Toney. He has a second hamstring injury. One wasn't enough for Kadarius Toney. He had to have a second one. Kadarius Toney, he was running with nursing a hamstring injury, then hurt the other hamstring, which is why he did not make the trip to London and is out for the game against the Packers. I love it because Kafka came out on a tweet the other day and said, what was his exact expression? And he says, Kadarius Toney has done everything we've asked. He's practiced hard when he's practiced. I love that line though. He practiced hard when he's practicing. It's unfortunate, but he's one of those guys that does everything we ask and is working his tail off in the training room and in the meeting rooms. If you don't get on the field, none of this matters. Kadarius Toney hasn't been on the field, he hasn't been consistently on the field now going, this is his second season not being on the field. I'm not slapping the bust label on him yet, but now you hurt your other hamstring. There's something very, very wrong here. He's a guy that you made the big trade for, you made the splash for, you got that, you went and got the extra pick, which turned out to be Evan Neal. But you also gave up Parsons. Parsons, who is not Lawrence Taylor. Anyone that says he's a Lawrence Taylor, please turn off this channel because you're too dumb to watch. But is a phenomenal linebacker, a phenomenal athlete, a phenomenal pass rusher, and can do all the things you ask. Kadarius Toney, we ask him to get on the field. He just can't even do that. And it's not that I'm trying to put the kid down because he's injured, but he is always injured. He might be one of those players who always has an issue, always has a nick, always has a bruise, always has a bump, always has something that will delay him from getting on the field. And there's an old saying, and it's a saying that I heard multitudes of times playing. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. There's a difference between being in pain and being injured. And I'm not saying Kadarius Toney does not know the difference. I'm not saying that. I'm not getting in the mindset of another player. I would never do that. But you have to start looking at this and from the perspective, does he know the difference between being hurt and being injured? And you have to also just, look at the training staff, and you hope that they are, of course, and they're always doing the best for what's for the player. But they're also trying to get the guy on the field so he can contribute, because we did spend the first round draft choice on him. And then we did draft Wan'Dale Robinson as a backup to redundancy for this slot position because of Kadarius Toney's issues. So we're going into week 5 now. Are we going to see him this season? Are we? Bueller? I don't know. We just got to kind of wait and see. Landon Collins is officially now with the Giants. He signed over to the practice squad. I love it because, there's a Herculean task this game against the Packers for the Giants. They have injuries. They have issues. The Giants are right now in reference to the passing game. Aaron Rodgers, you predict, is probably going to have a huge game, or potentially have a big game this week. And he's pretty much due for one. The Packers are trying to basically reverse a couple trends. They got some issues they got going on right now. So we have to kind of just take a look and see. The biggest things that they're probably going to look to improve on is protecting the football and containing the run on defense. And the good news is, without them being able to contain the run on defense, that's what we do well. That's what we do. We run the ball well. We Herman Munster it. I've said it before. Run. That's what we do well. So them having issues against the run is perfect. But you always have old Mr. Rogers. And I love it because Wink came out and said, he was asked the other day what it's like facing an older Aaron Rodgers. He said it's like holding a python, saying he won't bite. That's what it is. That's what it is right now. Now, right now, the Green Bay Packers are 7.5 point favorites over the New York Football Giants. I'm going to be curious today, because we're doing a live stream at 4 with the Domber and hopefully a Packers special guest. And it's going to be interesting, because I'm curious to see what the perspective is in regards to who will lend this more to a home field advantage. In reference, will it be the Giants? Will it be the Packers? Who's going to get the crowd behind them? Is it a Giant crowd, or is it going to be a Green Bay crowd? I'm curious. I am curious about that. We talked about this yesterday, that the Packers, some of the best offensive playmakers they have are their running backs, in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Jones, who it's funny, Jones is not a big guy, but he breaks tackles. And if you take a look at among running backs in the league history that with at least 700 carries, Jones ranks 4th with 5.2 yards per carry. And he's a good receiver. He's a great receiver. And I laugh because of all the deficiencies that Saquon Barkley has blocking. Jones blocks well for a guy his size. And like I said, then you mix in A.J. Dillon at the same time, and you got something there. You got a running game. Their wide receiving core, what's his name? When you got Lazard, what's his name? Alan Lazard. He's an under the radar guy. You got Randall Cobb. Then you got Watson, Christian Watson, and I can't remember the other rookie. I know his first name is Romeo. I just love that name. It's a great name for a kid growing up. What's your name? My name's Romeo. Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Can't you see that I really love you? Gonna sing it to you time and time again. Oh, Casanova. I don't know why I'm singing Levert. Why not? It's a Friday. It's a fun day. The Giants are in London. You got some of the Packers players. You got one or two of the Packers players bashing London a little bit. But you know what? It's one of those games that you're flying to another country. And that's why I said, that's why I'm curious to see what the groundswell is in reference to the fan base in London when they go over to Tottenham Stadium. Do you see who they're rooting for? I was just looking at Aaron Rodgers' stats. 4 games, 935 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, averaging 7.2 yards a completion. And see, for a guy that's old, he's having a pretty good day. And you got Dillon, who's got 211 yards. You got Jones, who's got 327 yards. You got let's see here. What's our receiving look? What's their receiving look like? You got Romeo. Yep, Romeo is leading the team. 19 receptions, 184 yards. Aaron Jones has got 12 receptions for 81. You know, it's you got to look at this team. Everything's always going to go around. Everything's going to go around. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers. Everything's going to work around him. So, you know, you got Rashawn Gary, who's got 5 sacks. You got Preston Smith, who's got 2.5. Kenny Clark's got 2. You know, so they are not a they at this moment in time. This defense, I would not refer to them as being a turnover machine or a sack machine, because they only have 1 interception this entire season right now, and then you're looking at a total of 11 sacks. So they're not terrible, you know. They're not terrible, but they don't create the turnovers like now. The first 4 games, so we have to kind of wait and look and see if we can continue that trend with the Giants. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. You got Campbell, the big linebacker. He's actually I like you got Campbell and Walker, who are actually pretty good linebackers. You got Douglas, who's also in the cornerback situation, he's played pretty well. I like Dean Lowry. So you got some guys on the defense that can make some plays as well. But I think the game plan for this is going to be the same thing we've gone through over and over again. It's going to be ball control. It's going to be like we do it. I mean, if we throw 12 times, I think that will be a lot. So I think they should do. I mean, they wanted to run it 40 times last week. I think they need to try to run it 50 times this week, and kind of go from there. But you know what? We got the big stream coming up. We got the stream with the Dahmer. We got the it's going to be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a good time with it. We're gonna get a perspective about who or whom the hometown crowd is gonna be rooting for. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, if you could ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.